Let's move on now and talk rugby, because the Get Into Rugby program, which forms part of World Rugby strategy to grow the game globally and encourage players of all ages to try, play and stay in rugby, is a grassroots development initiative, and with its reach extending across all 9 provinces here in South Africa. And this rugby initiative saw over 200,000 boys and girls play the game across all 9 provinces in this country in the past year alone. And the program also offers young aspiring coaches, both male and female, an opportunity to also hone their rugby coaching skills. And we are now joined by Angelique Jordaan, who is Get Into Rugby's coordinator and manager. She joins us to talk more about this program. Good evening. Hello, Angelique, and thanks for joining us on SABC.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Tell us more, firstly, about the idea behind the Get Into Rugby program.
So initially, World Rugby launched the program to grow the game globally. What we in South Africa did was we took the program and we made it our own. Our mandate was take rugby to the townships and rural areas in South Africa, which is what we've been doing for the past 10 years.
And then how do you measure the success? Then how do you know that you are on the right track?
We've got a number of players who've come through, especially in our girls-only program, who are now playing provincial rugby. The Lions have got a fantastic program, as does Limpopo, as does the border region. So these girls, and in a lot of cases boys, are coming through. So from a competitive point of view, that's one way of measuring it. On the other hand, we have such wonderful feedback from principals to say what the game is doing during school time for these players, and obviously looking at what our Springbok team is doing at the moment, the role models, and all the kids just want to play rugby, which is fantastic.
Oh, wonderful. And so besides just playing the game, what are the teachers, what are the schools sharing about how the game is also helping the boys and girls?
So for teachers, I mean, a lot of them come back to us and say the self-discipline that they can see in the youngsters, because a Get Into Rugby lesson is very structured, and we try and take a holistic approach. So while we've got those boys and girls on the field, we try and teach them good values based on the 5 principles of World Rugby. And, we try and increase their social development as well as their rugby skills.
And you mentioned girls a lot, which seems like they're a big part of this program. Is that also intentional, also the inclusion of girls and also diversity, also considering our history as a country?
Absolutely. I mean, we started making it mandatory from 2013, when this program was piloted in South Africa, to make it accessible to boys and girls. I think I like to think that the rest of the world caught up with us in terms of giving the girls equal access to the sport. And I mean, we've got more than 228,000 girls who have gone through our program, and it's just wonderful to see. And they have as much right to play the game as any of the boys do.
And how do you choose, Angelique, who participates? Like, how do you choose which schools and which communities to go to?
So we leave that up to the provincial rugby unions, because we try and follow the pathways that they've already put. So we approach the 15 rugby unions across the country, and they then choose their schools based on also on the high schools program. So we try and have a distinct pathway. So if those grade 1s are finishing in grade 7, they've got a high school to go into that plays rugby. So we try and make it a pathway so that these kids can play for as long as possible.
What's interesting is that there's also something for the coaches also. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, a lot of our coaches are unemployed to begin with. We have a big youth unemployment problem in our country, but we try and make a small difference there. So of our 450 coaches, we try and upskill the youth from next year. We will not only be giving them assisting them with their coaching level 1, we'll also be giving them the chance to do their S&C level 1s, as well as their refereeing, match officiating level 1. So they can choose any career in rugby after that. They're not just forced into the coaching strand.
So I guess it's empowerment also for the coaches. So are you saying this program happens around the world, then different countries also, but you make it suitable for South Africa? You find ways to make it suitable for us here in South Africa?
Absolutely. I mean, initially this program was written with a first world perspective that everyone has access to the internet. We don't have that, so we've adopted clever ways. And I must give credit to my 16 managers on the ground. We couldn't do this without them, as well as the teachers in the schools, the female teachers and our principals. They go above and beyond to give all our participants the best opportunity that they can. During school, after school, festivals, all the like. Engine, our partner, they came on board during COVID, which was astounding because no one was touching rugby at that stage because of the contact. But we are very grateful for their support.
Yeah, and you are saying that the goal is the goal to produce professional rugby players, or just to get the young ones into the game and develop their rugby and life skills also?
So initially it was it was just to get them into the game and develop their life skills. But we're 10 years down the road now, and the hunger within these children, and especially I keep going back to the girls program, but that's the program where we've gone from non-contact to contact. These girls don't stand back, and they will play elite rugby at a stage in their careers. We just need to give them the right pathway.
Yeah, and how do you see this program evolving in the next few years? I'm sure there'll be new ideas and new innovations because the game also keeps changing.
Absolutely, and that's why we can't only just have coaches who can coach. We need coaches who can develop the athletes that we have across this country from a young age. So that's why we've brought in the mandatory S&C level 1, as well as the match officiating, so that you can choose anything and you can develop that child, because a lot of the kids, some of them don't actually want to play, but they want a referee, and that's a good pathway for them to follow too. So to give them any opportunity in all the spheres of rugby is basically the plan for the next couple of years.
So do you have to go back to World Rugby and report every year?
We used to, but we don't have to anymore. I think our participant figures speak for themselves. I can say with a lot of confidence that we are the number 1 in the world and have been for a long time in terms of how many participants we have. But for me, it doesn't go about the numbers so much. It goes about the difference that we see every day, with these kids, and the fact that, the coaches always tell us when they're walking in the streets, then the kids will wave and say, there goes my coach, hi, nice to see you. And, it's like, it's part of the community, which is, we want to get the parents involved too, to come and watch on the festival days and to try and make a difference.
Yeah, and you're already making a difference, Angelique. Thank you for joining us here on SABC. Wonderful work that you're doing with this Get Into Rugby program, and keep us updated with the success stories.
Thank you very much. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you. Some wonderful work being done there. It's an initiative of World Rugby, but as you heard from Angelique, South Africa have tried to make it custom-made to South Africa, and they're reaching areas that previously maybe some couldn't reach, previously disadvantaged areas, in introducing the game to young boys and girls.